Barbie Kalev is happily married to Barbie Kalev, has a PhD, and was previously a professor. Fitness was never a part of Barbie's life until she dabbed in a triathlon training in graduate school. After her divorce and the passing of her dad in 2006, along with a series of other hardships, she gained a good 30 pounds. That's when she discovered Beachbody products, when she said she was a truly life-saving discovery. Barbie's 41 years old and in the best place of her life physically, emotionally, and financially. What started out as a hobby turned into a full-time business and passion. When you do what you love, Barbie says, work does not feel like work. She's here to help you guys get from where you are to where you want to be, both in fitness and in business. Barbie has been with Team Beachbody since 2007. She was the #1 top coach in her region in 2009. She later went on to be the elite top 10 in 2010, 2011. She has been elite for 6 years and a member of CAB, which is a coach advisory board. She is also, and you guys remember to make some noise on this, she's also part of the Millionaires Club and a 7-figure earner. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to
amazing. I was sitting back there with Sagi and I was like on fire. So I wore pink in honor of Valentine's Day, and my topic is being a heart-led leader. So I really believe there are no coincidences. This morning we were driving here from Scotty's town, Idaho Falls, and I sat next to Gabby, his beautiful wife. Where are you, Gabby? Come here for a second. So we were talking and I said, she asked me how I met Sagi. We were just talking. I was telling her a little bit just about what's been happening the past few years. And she said, can I tell you how I was? Can I tell you how I perceived you from the outside? I was like, please tell me. So come and tell us what you saw and be completely honest. Come up here. Mom of 5.
So when Scotty first started, yes, we were in the car, and so when Scotty first started Beachbody, Barbie was already like one of the top leaders. When I met her from the outside looking in, and kind of what I shared this morning with her was when I saw her, she was like a boss. Like she didn't need anybody. She was a badass and kind of intimidating. Boss. You just had it all together. You didn't need anybody to help you. Very hard, almost masculine, like very, very strong. But that's kind of just a few different words. I don't want to take up your time, but that's what I perceived you.
Thank you, guys, for your honesty. He likes to call this period of my life when I was a dude. True story. So my life philosophy was, I don't need you, even with the head bobbing, right? I don't need you. I'm going to show you how great I am. And where does that come from? Well, before I talk about where does that come from, I just had something to prove. And I wanted to be the best. I wanted to show how good I was and that I had made this on my own. I don't need you. I don't need anybody. And so I was very alone. I grew up on public assistance. When I was 6 years old, my brother was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. My mother took my brother and said, my son is going to survive, because they told him, we lived in South America, they said, he's not going to make it. And she did what any strong and courageous woman would do. She grabbed my brother, moved to the land of opportunity, to the United States, and saved my brother. So I was left behind for 6 months, which was so traumatizing for me. And then I finally met up with my mom, but I didn't have that attention because all the attention went to my brother, who needed it, who was sick. And so because I didn't have that attention, I became a little achievement machine. I needed to achieve in order to gain recognition, in order to have just some kind of attention, to try to earn my mom's love. And I know that she loved me, so that wasn't the point. But that's what eventually got me to pursue my PhD. People are like, why did you study French? other than the fact that I thought it was cool, because I thought it was cool, I really wanted to do something that separated me from people. And again, was I don't need you, I'm better than you. And so I got my PhD, I became a professor, and because I felt so alone, I really just became hardened, you know? From the outside, when I met Beachbody, it really fit in so nicely with the previous part of my life of me needing achievement, me needing to be recognized. I wanted for people to admire me. I wanted for people to say, man, babe, Barbie, you are so awesome. You are so amazing. You're so successful. And so I thrived on that recognition, on the rewards, on the success club, just being on stage. I mean, my hashtag was BFD, Barbie freaking Decker, right? That was funny, right? But, so I really found the perfect place. And yesterday I was talking to Brigida Linford, and she said, you know, it's such, I don't know how she said it, but the feeling was that this is such an amazing community and so full of love. And I said, it's that because that's who you are. But for me, back then when I started as a coach for the first few years, it wasn't that. For me, it was a place for me to shine and to show how freaking awesome I was. So I got to a place of being respected, right? I was one of the top leaders, and people, maybe they loved me, maybe not. Maybe they just admired me. Maybe they thought, wow, you've done amazing, right? You've even hit the millionaire club. You have multiple business centers. You've done this, you've done that. But I hit a point where there was no joy. This morning, when Sagi was with the VIP folks, he asked, Barbie, what's your definition of success? And I just said, it was instant. My mouth just said joy. And I didn't have that. And so I looked for that. And the only way that I knew how to find joy or how to set out on my journey, the hero's journey to find joy, was in books. I was a professor. Everything that I did was me learning from books. I wanted to find the system. I was going to find the system, crack the code on how to be happy. And so I started reading books, A Return to Love. And I remember with that book in particular, I would like walk around and I would say, I'm radiating love. I'm radiating, like it didn't quite work. I was so disconnected from myself. And so I'm not really sure how it happened, but I can tell you that it happened when I had hit rock bottom, that I was, by all objective measures, I was successful, right? I was making already probably, I don't know, a lot. I really don't remember, but it was a lot. Maybe it was close to 7 figures a year. And I was, like I said, I was respected, I was maybe loved, I'm not sure, but I was unhappy. And so from that place, I just began seeking. And maybe in part it was through Sagi's example, just seeing truly what a heartfelt, heart-led leader, and just getting to know me. But I found some principles that I want to share with you, and it's not ridiculously complicated, and maybe, this is what I told Sagi this morning, maybe this comes easy to some people, but for someone like me, who really felt hardened by life, who felt like I was acting like a boss, you know, these are my guiding principles today. And maybe there's someone, raise your hand so I can see you, maybe there's a little bit of you that can relate to me, that just doesn't feel, and I do feel now, and has trouble connecting. I can tell you that just applying this life philosophy, these few little principles, has completely changed my life. So now I am successful by objective measures, but I'm also happy. And when you are a heart-led leader, you get better results because people actually want to get to know you. They want to be successful. They want to make you proud. You care more about how people are doing. And so I'm happier, but I'm also more successful, and so is my team. And I hear it all the time. I mean, I heard it several times today, even from people that I don't know. So the first principle, or tip even, is be real, be authentic, be you. I spent so many years trying to, I wouldn't say be someone that I'm not, but trying to impress, right? I wanted to be admired. And the day that I stopped was the day that it just got exhausting. It was exhausting to try to be perfect all the time and to try to be admired and just to be loved for what I had achieved. I just stopped and I said, this, and I'm just gonna be me. And what does that look like? I'm not even sure. I mean, that's what I was gonna ask almost Gabby, like, what do you see now? But I said, you know what, I'm not gonna ask her what you see now because I'm gonna show you. I hope that you see someone that is authentic in front of you, that is real, that is not fake. And that's why I do my videos, that I'm a hot mess, you know, and I don't care because I just want to show who I am. My next principle, and again, this is where I say, wow, maybe this comes naturally for other people, is be kind. And I told, he was telling me a story this morning, or something happened this morning, but I'm not going to talk about it because maybe he's going to talk about it. And I said, babe, you just try to be kind every day. You look for ways to be kind. He said, I don't try. And I said, you're right, that's who you are. It really is who he is. And in the beginning, in 2012, I can tell you, I did a Darren Hardy exercise. The book is Living Your Best Year Ever. And it said, how do you want to be remembered in 2012, right? By the end of the year. And I wanted people to be able to say, Barbie, you are kind. You are a kind person. And when I look back on my year of 2012, maybe there were some kind moments in my life, but I can honestly tell you that in general, people wouldn't say, you're so kind. And that really hurt me because I want to be kind. And so that makes me emotional. So in 2013, it wasn't, I'm gonna be this ex-Star Diamond coach, I'm gonna be kind. And by the end of 2013, I was able to say, I am kind. The next principle is know that you are worthy. I know that a lot of you, because a lot of me, has struggled with feelings of worthiness, like I'm not worthy. And feeling like you're not worthy, comparing yourself to someone else who has achieved that, has more of this, is whatever, thinner, prettier, whatever it is. That doesn't serve you. And it doesn't serve me. Even, the other day before we came here, I was like, I don't have anything to say. And I even felt, I don't know if I felt unworthy, but there was a part of me that still felt that way, like, I have nothing to say. And so he's like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, you have nothing to say? Like, that's silly. And I knew that. So know that you are worthy. And sometimes I do weird exercises, but I did this exercise in this self-development workshop where I had to imagine myself, so imagine yourself being born and coming out of your mother's womb and holding this infant you. And then this is what I visualized. I imagine myself like coming out of my mother's womb and being placed on my mother's chest. And I thought, this child is worthy. Like, you are worthy. Like, you would never grab a child and say, an infant, and say, this child is unworthy. So at some point, we feel unworthy. And so I know I'm worthy, and I say that I'm worthy. So just know that that's who you are. That is your right to be worthy. You are worthy. You have nothing to prove. And then finally, the last one is be vulnerable. Be willing to share your struggles, your triumphs. And I don't mean to be bringing up Brigitte all the time, but I freaking love her, even though I don't really know her well. But I love her through her social media posts because she is vulnerable. And I just read this line in a book called The Heart-Led Leader that said, being vulnerable is not about sharing your deep, dark secrets. Not necessarily. It can be. But it's about sharing your insights. It's about sharing your struggles so that others can see them and others can have permission to be who they are. And so the other day, it was literally the other day, actually in December and January, I wasn't really feeling well. I found out what was wrong, and I'm apparently sensitive to like 55 foods. And so now that I stopped, I'm not kidding, 55 foods including chicken, apples, cucumbers, it was crazy. But we won't get into that. But anyway, so I really wasn't feeling well for December and January. And so I have a coach with Tony Robbins, and she said, what kind of story do you want to be able to tell at the end of the year? And I said, it was so clear to me, and I said, because I told her I was struggling, I'm not feeling well, I don't feel like myself, I feel like someone kidnapped my personality. And I said, I know, I want to be able to say that even though I struggled, I was the best wife that I could be, that I did whatever I had to do in order to take care of my health, and that I kicked ass in my business. And so that, asking myself that question, being vulnerable and asking myself that question, set me on the right path. And so even though on those days that I wasn't feeling well, and by the way, I'm feeling like 99% better just changing my foods, I'm feeling great. So just by me asking that question, and then me sharing, being vulnerable, and sharing with another coach who wrote to me, someone on my team, and said, Barbie, right now I'm struggling in my marriage, I feel like I don't have time with my kids, and so I'm going to take a step back from the business. And I didn't try to change her, I didn't try to, the old Barbie F. Decker would have been like, you got to do whatever it takes, and who cares, and you put your business first and not your family. And I said, I totally understand. Can I just share with you what I'm experiencing? That I'm not feeling well, and what this question was asked of me, what do you want to be able to say by the end of 2016? And so when I shared that with her, she wrote back, and we actually were sending voice memos, and she just said, wow, Barbie, thank you. Thank you for sharing with me. Thank you for being vulnerable, right? Sharing my insights. And now she's back to working her business and believing that she can have a great marriage, she can have a great relationship with her kids, and she can carve out the time to work her business. So the four things, right, are to be real or authentic, to be kind, to know that you are worthy, and to be vulnerable. Just applying those four principles, they weren't strategies and a system, it was just being that person has completely changed my life and my business and who I am. So I want to encourage you to ask, not what do you want to be, because we grow up with that question, right? Like, what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to be when you grow up? Or what do you want to be now? Want to be a 5-star diamond coach, a 7-star diamond coach, a superstar diamond coach? There's a better question. And that question is, who do you want to become? Who do you want to become? And so today, I can tell you who I am. And this is a contract, a commitment that I have to myself. And that I have a bracelet, I didn't wear it today, but I have a bracelet that reminds me of that. I have it written on my bathroom wall, just to remind me of who I am and how I want to show up in this world. And I can tell you, I'm going to cry, with confidence and just joy, that I am a real, kind, worthy, spiritual woman walking God's loving light. Thank you so much.